Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here on today on Narcissism 101, cracking the code with me, Paul Wisdom. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Friday so far. Hope your morning is off to a good start. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, if you want a one-on-one session, please email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com or send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some advice for your situation, if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is narcissistic or not, or if you just have some questions for me, if you want to talk about something in one of my videos or something like that, please feel free to reach out. And I'll be more than happy to give you the help, give you some clarifications as to maybe some of the questions that you might have for me. Then we can get you the help that you need. So what we are going to talk about today, guys, in this video, might be a little bit longer than the usual ones, but I need to cover this topic. It's really important. What we're going to talk about today is who is more dangerous, the male narcissist or the female narcissist? Who is more dangerous? What do you think? Tell me, what do you think? Which do you think is more dangerous? Is more likely to be more dangerous than the other? Now, I'm going to tell you this. I'll be honest with you guys here. Both male and female narcissists are they're very much the same. They're very similar. But the thing is that there's one thing that makes one more dangerous than the other, and we're going to talk about that today. So, who is more dangerous, the male or the female narcissist? The answer is The answer is the female narcissist is more dangerous than the male narcissist. Now, I'm going to explain my reason why. If you disagree with me, that's more than okay. I'm okay with it. But here is my reason why I believe the female narcissist is more dangerous than the male narcissist. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the ways in which male narcissists and female narcissists are the same. And then what we are going to talk about is the ways that they are different and how they and when we talk about how they're different, we're going to then round out to why the female narcissist is more dangerous than the male narcissist. All right, guys? All right, so let's get into it. So, what are some of the similarities that male narcissists and female narcissists have? So, some of the similarities are as follows. Male narcissists and female narcissists both have a sense of entitlement. They believe that they are entitled. They believe that they should have everything. That if they don't have something and they see that that's something that they would want, they believe that they should have it. Okay, so for example, let's say that they see that, for example, somebody has a car. Let's say someone has a beautiful car. It looks amazing. They believe inside their minds, and especially seeing as they already have a car, they believe that they should have that car. So what do? They get as close to that person as they can. They get to know this person. They get to know if they're an empath. They get to know or if they're a toxic person or something like that. And then what they do is very slowly and insidiously, what they do is they start stealing things from this person. Maybe they start spending more time with them, and then before you know it, this person they lose their car somehow. Whether that person gets a tire slashed or something like that, or maybe because that person over explained, they said what insurance company that they're with, and then the narcissist takes this down, notes it down. And then before you know it, what happens is that the narcissist goes to this insurance company, and then they can talk to their insurance company, and before you know it, then that person loses their car for some reason, right? These things happen. It's actually very real that these things happen, right? So, number one, narcissists believe that they have a sense of entitlement. Number two, the second thing that's similar about both male and female narcissists, they lack the ability to empathize. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. One of the biggest things I've talked about on my channel is that narcissists, they cannot empathize. Now, when it comes down to both male and female narcissists, the way that they lack empathy for another person is different, especially depending on what that person provides for them. Like I've said in most of my videos, when it comes down to narcissists, what you provide for them will dictate how much they can take from you and how long they stay in the relationship with you. Some narcissistic relationships last maybe a month, maybe they last a day, 2 days, maybe a week, maybe a year, maybe a decade, maybe a lifetime. But it all depends on what that person provides for the narcissist, right? So narcissist, but when it comes down to it, let's say that you're having a hard time. You've fallen on hard times. Let's say that you just lost your job. Let's say that you came to your narcissistic, person that you're dealing with, and you said that you have a health concern. Most of the times, or not even most of the times, at the times, what's going to happen is that the narcissist is going to blame it on you, and they're going to say that you are the reason why you got yourself into that problem, that you should eat better, that you should get more sleep, that you should do more this. They criticize everything about you without even without empathizing with the fact that, let's say, you have a health concern, right? And the other thing they'll even do is they'll even gaslight you and start and give you word salad and start talking about themselves. And they'll say something like, "Oh, well, I have a bad stomach and this stomach ache's been bothering me. Yours is nothing. You don't need to worry about it. You just need to give it a few days." And then now you start doubting yourself and you start saying, "But we're talking about me right now." And then they give you the silent treatment, of course, because that's what narcissists do. They love giving the silent treatment. And then what this silent treatment is because the silent treatment is a form of emotional bullying, because essentially what it is when they give you the silent treatment, what they're doing is that they hope that you will crawl back to them, that you will over explain and say, "I was the one that was wrong," and then they don't have to take accountability for the fact that they were the one that was actually wrong. And so when it comes down to it, yes, narcissists, they lack the ability to empathize. Those are two big things: entitlement, the ability to empathize, and the third thing is that's similar between both male and female narcissists, is that they lack accountability. They don't like being held accountable. Let's say that, for example, you're trying to talk to them about something. Let's say that they said something that was very disrespectful and you didn't appreciate that, right? And then you came to them and said, "I really didn't appreciate what you said. I wish that you could have said that a little bit nicer." And then what do? First of all, they will say that I didn't do anything wrong, that you're too sensitive, you're too serious about everything. This is why I shouldn't have gotten into a relationship with you. This is why I don't talk to you if it's one of your narcissistic parents. What they'll say is, I shouldn't have spoken to you about this, because this is how you get so offensive, you get so defensive and serious, and then they start throwing you under the bus, essentially, right? Because they don't want to be accountable. And then what they'll even say is that, I've tried to have this conversation with you before. Or what they'll do is triangulate you. They will bring somebody else into the picture. Let's say you have siblings, for example. They'll say your siblings don't take it that serious. Your sibling over there, they know how to take things on the chin. They have thick skin, and you're so weak, and you need to stop taking everything so seriously. And then you're scratching your head saying, "What the hell? All I was saying was that what you said to me was disrespectful," and then they can't take accountability. So that's why they have to deflect and they have to triangulate you so that the responsibility can be taken off of them. Both male and female narcissists do this all the time, right? Or what they will do when you try to hold them accountable is they will actually rage at you. They will literally get into a rage. They will rage at you, and you will see a side of them that you did not even think existed. Like, they'll start yelling and screaming, and if they're a malignant narcissist, they'll start breaking things and maybe throwing things at you, like objects, like plates or glass. If they're throwing glass at you, I say run for your life, because that can be really, really dangerous. Listen, narcissists, they don't like taking accountability. So, that's another thing that's the same between male and female narcissists, is that they do not like to take accountability. Now, what we're going to talk about now, we're going to talk about the things that make male and female narcissists different, the differences between the two of them. Guys, don't worry. We're going to round out to why the female narcissist is more dangerous. I just want you guys to get a sense as to, how narcissists are, both male and female narcissists. Now, how they're different. The differences, however, between male and female narcissists is that male narcissists are more driven by power, Right now, narcissists are all now get this. Both female and male narcissists are driven by control. But what I'm saying is that male narcissists are driven more by power because they know that because they are males, because they are men, because they are boys, that they will get first pick, that they will get ahead more because of the fact that they're male, because the fact that they know that they will get that control. They know that they're above, and not beneath. They know, if it's in the workplace, that they will immediately make more money than the woman will because of the fact that she's a woman and the fact that he's a man. And men, as we know it, obviously it's a fact that men make more money than women. And men are also driven by power because they know that they're stronger than women, right? They're physically stronger, right? And they know to some degree that they're not smarter. Now, I'm not trying to say, I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea here. I'm not trying to say that all male narcissists are physically stronger than, women. I'm not trying to say that because there are some women that are actually stronger than men. But majority of the times, I would say 99% of the time, the man is much stronger than the woman is. They even did research and said that the weakest man is actually stronger than the strongest woman. So that's a big, that's big, right? So what I'm saying here, though, is that male narcissists are driven by power because they know that they will always get first pick, and that they know also that they will always get that they can just get it just because of the fact that they're a male. They'll get more preferential treatment just because of the fact that he's a guy, and the fact that he can, the fact that he can do whatever. To some degree, he has more power just because he's a guy, right? The difference, on the other hand, with the female narcissist is that female narcissist, what makes her different is that female narcissists are driven by emotions. Right, they're driven. They fight based off of emotion. They know that they don't have as much power as the man will, and so what she does in exchange for not having the power is she wants to control him. Right, men are controlling you have some controlling men, and narcissists are controlling. Their main objective is control. But what I'm saying here, I'm just speaking as an overall when it comes to male and females, right? Men are usually driven by power because they know that they are powerful, and they know that they get what they can just get it because they're men. They know that they will get it first because they're men. Females, on the other hand, are more driven by their emotions. They make most of their decisions based off of how they feel. And once they feel it, once their feelings, aren't being met, right, then it's like they throw it all, they throw what they have away because their feelings are not being met. The other difference between male and female narcissists is that when it comes down to it, female narcissists, it's more easier for a male to get entrapped by a female narcissist than it is for a guy to get trapped by a female narcissist. So let me say that again. It's much easier for a male to get trapped by a female narcissist than it is for a female to be trapped by a male narcissist. And I'm going to explain why this is. The reason why I say this is because we just mentioned that female narcissists come from a place of emotions. They fight based off of their emotions, right? And so because they fight based off their emotions, 99% of the time, they're much better at playing the victim than men are. And the reason why that's true is because when it comes down to it, females, they like to, female narcissists especially, they use crocodile tears. And what that means is they will start to fake cry when they're not getting what it is that they want. And when a normal guy sees a woman crying, usually 99% of the time, he will feel inside himself, and that is, he's not a narcissist, he will feel inside himself to say, maybe I should go help her and see if she's okay. Like she's a damsel in distress. He will go out of his way to help her and say, are you all right? Is everything okay? Maybe not how I'm saying you all right, but he'll say, are you okay? Is everything all right? Do I need to, go get you some help? And then what she'll do, she'll use that to trap him in And what she will do is say when he's leaving, she'll say, no, no, stay with me, stay with me. I need you, I need you. And then he will feel compelled to want to stay with her just because of that, right? And so when it comes, and then on the flip side, males, it's much harder for them to trap females because they have to do it from a sense of power, right? They do, and sometimes it works with females, and other times it doesn't. Because the thing is, you have to keep in mind when males, do that to women. Now we understand that men are stronger, physically stronger, and that they have that control because they're men. But what I'm saying is that when it comes down to it, females, if they feel threatened, if they feel scared, they will immediately pull on those crocodile tears and they will start crying. And then what they can do, they can actually get get that male, that guy, arrested or in trouble just because of the fact that she cried fake tears or because she felt unsafe. Because, they always go to the person that looks more like they need help, which is usually the woman. Right? And so when it comes down to it, the female narcissist, she can trap men. She can trap men much easier than the male narcissist can trap a woman because the female narcissist, she'll cry those crocodile tears. She'll make it seem as though she's entitled to this or entitled to that. And then what's going to happen is that guy's going to feel indebted to her. And then eventually what's going to happen is she's going to trap him. And then once she knows that she has him where she needs him, then she starts playing that cycle of abuse. And that cycle of abuse, I've talked about it on my channel many times, which goes love bomb stage, where everything seems too good to be true. And, you feel as though you're in a state of euphoria where the narcissist, she's showering you with love, and she's kissing up on you. She's lathering you up with love. She's spending time with you. All she wants to see is you. She starts saying things like, where have you been all my life? I wish I had, one thing my ex-girlfriend, one thing my ex-wife would say when we were dating was that she wished that she could lose her virginity, to me and not anyone else. Like, she was trying to put me on cloud nine. I'm not sure how that happened, but it happened. But when it comes down to it, though, the female narcissist will also do these things, and then before you know it, now the guy's trapped, and he feels like he just struck gold, right? Because usually, not all female narcissists are all that attractive. Some of them, they don't look as attractive as the other ones. Some of them look like they're for the streets. They're into prostitution. Some of them just look really, really beautiful. And then the guy gets trapped by the fact that, she's beautiful. She needs help, and I want to help her. Right. And then before you know it, now he's in the love bomb stage, and, they're maybe making love, and things are just going a little bit too fast. But the guy, he doesn't know that because he's never been in a relationship like that before, right? And so now he feels trapped. And now he feels like he has no way out because he's never met a woman who would do that to him, right? Because men usually love with everything that they have, right? Because men know that, when they later on in life, that they will be the leaders, and that they will usually 90% of the time, men usually make the first move when it comes to a woman. Now, I'm not trying to say obviously that women don't sometimes make the first talk. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying focus on narcissistic abuse here. Most of the times males, they're usually the ones that make the first move, right? And so he knows that he's going to make the first move, with her. And then and usually men, they love, based on, the fact that they want it from her usually, right? But then the women on the other hand, they only love for what they can take, right? For what they see, right? And then once they get it, because usually, and that's the reason why 80% of divorces are initiated by women, because it's usually the women that claim they're unhappy because their needs are not getting met, or because they're getting bored, or because they found something better or something like that, and they just throw it all away just like that. But then the guy on the other hand, men on the other hand, they don't act like that, right? Usually men divorce or throw things away because they're forced to, or because they have to, right? Because usually the difference between male and female, male and female there is that, males, in that case, what happens is that, usually males, they don't talk about the fact that they're being abused, that they're being taken advantage of, that they're being thrown under the bus. Why is that? It is because usually if men talk about their feelings, then they get thrown under the bus. They get made fun of. They get told, "Oh, you're such a little baby. Grow up. You're supposed to be a man. You're not. You're no man. You're a this. You're a that." And then they get talked down to. So they don't talk about their feelings. Whereas women, they make decisions based on their feelings, based on how they feel. Why do you think that when women, when let's take the female narcissist here, when she leaves a guy that she knows was a good guy, what she will do, that's why when she discards him, right, when she brings him through the devaluation stage now after the love bomb, that takes him into the devaluation stage where nothing he did is good enough. Now in the love bomb stage, when he was so good looking, he was handsome, he was a good looking guy, he had money. Now all of a sudden, all that money, he doesn't have enough money all of a sudden, even though they both know he has a lot of money. Now he's not attractive. Now he's not the good guy he was in the love bomb stage. Now he's in the devaluation stage. Now he has no way of getting out. Right? And then that's happening. And then the female narcissist is snickering under her breath and she knows, okay, I have this guy locked down and I know he's not going anywhere. And then comes the discard where she just throws him away just like that. And then now he's broken for life because everything that guy built up, all that money that he saved up all his life, because most men, like I said, were taught that they're going to be leaders at some point in their life, right? Not all men, but most men were taught that they're going to be leaders, and men just have a want for power, right? Because they want to feel powerful as men, right? And so when it comes down to it, what then happens is that now that he's been thrown away, now she's discarded him, now he doesn't know what to do because he's spent all his money on her, he's lost all his money. And then, now the woman's gone on to somebody else. But guess what happens? Then while she's with that other guy or with the other woman, because a lot of female narcissists are bisexual, they're lesbians and all that, they're bisexual and whatnot. What happens is that now when she does that, now she's going to hoover him and check on him to see if he's healed, to see if he's figured out that she is a narcissist, and to see if he's strong enough to even move forward, to break, the trauma bond. Because I guarantee you that guy, he still feels a little trauma bonded to that woman, especially if he had kids with her. He feels trauma bonded, right? Because he feels as though he can't move on with his life because he gave all his love that he had inside of himself. Right? Whereas on the flip side now, if we flip it to a male narcissist and a female, right? What happens is that, like we established, right? Men are ruled by power. So they already know that they'll get first pick. And they know that they can make the decision first because they are ruled by power, because they're men. Right? And so when it comes down to it, what happens with the male narcissist and the female, on the other hand, is that the male narcissist, it's much harder for your average guy to get, to get a woman, drawn, to him, right? In order for him to do that, then he has to do his hard work to manipulate her, right? And bring her and draw her in. And like I said, right? Some women, not all women, but some women will see it coming. And especially because, men have a need for sometimes being a little more controlling, right? Because they're stronger, she'll feel like she can't get away. And then what she'll do is she will, again, call the cops on him. And then this isn't all women. Some women are physically strong, so they'll try to fight him off, right? And then, then he will get himself in trouble, right? So what I'm saying here, guys, is that, excuse me, sorry, my eye. No, so what I'm saying here, guys, is that the female narcissist can do a lot more damage, to the male, whereas the male narcissist can do damage. Don't get me wrong. All narcissists are dangerous and they can destroy you. They all do manipulation. They all gaslight. They all smear campaign. They all do financial abuse. They all physical abuse to some degree if you're dealing with a malignant narcissist. They all spiritually abuse. They all emotionally abuse. They all do all these abuse tactics. But like I've said before in some of my other videos, they do it based off of what that person provides, right? They do it based off of what they can take from that person, right? And so when it comes down to it, guys, we've established that the female narcissist is more dangerous than the male narcissist. She can do more damage to a male because when a man throws a woman, let's say in the male narcissist to the female, if let's say the male narcissist, traps the woman somehow, because women, like I said, they go based off of what they see. And so if she sees that this guy, he has, money, that he is tall, that he is 6'4" or big and has money, and because that's usually what women are after when it comes down to guys. They want a guy who's tall, they want a guy that has a lot of money, they want a guy that has a lot of status, they want a guy that can elevate their lifestyle and things like that. That's usually what women look for. And so because women make decisions based off their feelings on what they see, if she sees that the guy has this, then it's more likely that she'll be trapped with him. Right? She'll be trapped, like she'll see him and then she will look past everything else. The fact that he's not very nice to her, the fact that, he makes fun of her, the fact that he laughs at her, most of the times if he has those things going for him, then she'll put all those things away and then she'll usually go for him, right? And then when she goes for him, then he's gonna love bomb her and want to spend time with her, and he's gonna be paranoid thinking that, he just struck gold and he's gonna, when she goes and spends time with their girlfriends or women, he's gonna say, where are you going? You should be spending time with me. Why are you going out with them? They're not good for you. And then she's gonna say, but these are my friends. I've known them all my life. And then he's gonna say, well, get out of here, you piece of trash. And then he'll make fun of her and all that stuff. And then, she'll take it because she made a decision based off her feelings. And she said, he has money though, and he's tall and 6'4", and he's all this. And, yet she still stays with him, even though he's mean to her, even though he abuses her, right? And then what happens is that, because she's so beautiful, she's such a beautiful woman, right? Now he's taking advantage of her. Now the love bomb is over. And now we're in the devaluation stage where now she's no longer beautiful. She can't cook. She can't clean. She can't do all this stuff. And now she can't do anything for herself. She can't even get dressed the way that she used to. She can't do all these things anymore because now she feels devalued. She feels tired. She feels exhausted, right? She doesn't have all the energy. She's not as strong as he is, right? And now she feels like she's getting weak and things like that, right? And then now we're in the discard stage where he just throws her away just like that. And what happens when women, get discarded and things like that? Usually, women, because they have some sort, they have a little bit more of an emotional, they have some emotion because everything with women is attached to emotions. A lot of the times women can see when a man is going to do this. Not all the time, but sometimes women can see, if she's not a narcissist, she can see that something is wrong, and then she can see it coming when the guy just gets rid of her, right? Not all the time, but some of the time, right? And then when she does this, it's easier for her to move on just because women make everything based off of your emotions and feelings. And so if another guy sees her crying on the side and she's there crying and she's sad and she looks very sad, then like I said before, what's gonna happen, guys? Another guy's gonna see her sad, and then he's gonna say, "Oh, what's going on? Are you okay? Is everything all right?" And then she's able to reel guys in easier like that because the guys see that she's sad, right? And then they will do what they can to take her, and then there you go. Then she's off to another guy, right? So she can get guys easier. Whereas a guy, when he throws her away, guess what happens? He's looked at as the bad guy, right? He's looked at as a tyrant, as a dangerous man, as you should stay away from him and all that. Whereas the female narcissist, she's not seen like that. She's not seen as a tyrant or a dangerous woman. They just give her a pass and say, well, you shouldn't have got involved with her in the first place. That's some of the stuff I heard when my ex-wife, who's a covert narcissist, when she, discarded me and I went through all the things and I was telling my story, there were people that were telling me, yo, you should have, what do you mean you got abused by her? Men don't get abused by women and all this stuff. And they're telling me, oh, well, you should have been more understanding and patient with her and all that. So do you guys see the difference here? I hope that you guys are seeing the difference because it's a real thing, right? So, we've established here that the female narcissist is more dangerous than the male narcissist. She can do more damage to a guy than a guy can do to, you know, a girl, because a girl can always get the next guy. They can get the next guy because she's so beautiful looking, and the guy, if she's you know, she makes it based off of her feelings again. And so the guy sees she's sad and he'll feel like he needs to save her, like a damsel in distress, right? And then, you know, sometimes they work and then they move on, and now she has another guy. Whereas a guy, when he throws her away, right, you know, he can't, whereas a girl, when a girl throws a guy away, when she discards him, it's very hard for him to move on, because he, you know, he's so broken. He gave all his heart, he gave all his money, he gave all his love, you know, and now it's hard for him to find a girl, because now a lot of the women are going to look at him as an abuser. They're going to look at him as somebody who's mentally insane, right? And they're not going to want, a lot of people are going to see him as a tyrant, as a bad guy, right? So I hope that you guys see what I'm talking about here. I hope that this makes sense. And I know that some people have different, you know, viewpoints on what this is, on if the male is more dangerous than the female, if the female is more dangerous than the male. I know everybody has different, you know, things to say, but that's what I have to say. That's my opinion. This is my channel, and so I have free reign to say whatever I want, and that's what I think. So yeah, guys, I hope that this video helped you out. Like I said, this video is a little longer than usual. It's 30 minutes long. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, share it with somebody who you think could use the knowledge. You know, drop a comment below if you can relate with what I'm talking about. If you have something different to say, you know, you can definitely reach out to me. If you have something different to say, put it in the comments. If you want a one-on-one session, again, please email me at paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some help trying to figure out whether your male narcissist or female narcissist is someone that you're dealing with, feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to give you the help that you need. I'd be more than happy to guide you along on your path, and then we can move forward like that. So thank you so much, guys, for being here, for joining me here today on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Have a great day, have a good Friday, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.